Good evening, everyone. Today I closed out of my position in NVX. This was a trade I took, and the main purpose of this trade review is to look at my sort of emotions before the trade and during the trade. I probably will start with discussing my trade plan and then go into what I felt regarding going into this. So as you can see, this is the daily chart from Novonix. It's a lithium and tech company. So the trade thesis was obviously severely beaten down. It is not the most desired stock on the ASX. They haven't performed well whatsoever. It's a lithium and tech company, sort of in there, in that processing area. Market cap of around 500 mil, and it's got a very high short float. Um, it's got a very high short float of around 8% from memory, um, which will sort of 6%. Sorry, so that sort of allows for a bit of a squeeze or a bit of a pump to take place should the stock really get moving. So anyway, I drew this really clean sort of break this trend line here on the weekly. Going back to the daily, stock had sort of ticked up here. Volumes had really decreased. It had that move higher. I bought on what was it this day here for an average price of around $1.05. So back here on that break of that candle. As you can see, sort of touches that trend line but doesn't break through. And then it has another attempt here, but as you can see, all these wicks are sort of, they come up and they just get sold down by the end of the day. I eventually closed it today, which went against my thesis, but we'll get into that more in the emotional section. Finally, the only other thing I would say is volumes didn't come in. It showed a lot of relative weakness, which I'll touch on again in the emotional section, but it showed a lot of relative weakness. We've had a few very good days in the US recently, and the market's been to get, sort of been ticking up on, I guess, a little bit of hopium, to put it easily. And so my original thesis was to hold, and eventually I should have been selling. My original stop loss was the break of this trend line, but I then moved it and I eventually closed out at 98.5, I think. So right there, which is annoying because what I should have happily taken this sell on volume. As you can see, taken this sell on volume and re-entered should it have broken up again. And that's something I need to spend more time looking at and doing, is just going, hey, like, it hasn't worked in my favor this time, doesn't mean it won't happen again, won't set up again. So before the trade, what had actually happened was I'd bought LKE, like Resources, it's a lithium company, for a similar trade. So as you can see, beaten down trend line there. The 100 moving average had definitely come in a lot closer than what it is on NVX. So I bought in at 52 here with really good size. I was really confident. Sold out on that star day there, and of course it's then moved. It's then moved 30% without me. I had good size. That would have been a really big winner. The market was ticking up, so my emotions before the trade was I just missed this, got shaken out on this for no good reason, and decided it was, best for me to exit. And I mean, this had similar characteristics. It had a decent short float, unloved, and frankly, lithium had a bit of a run here. But so that was fresh in my mind going back to NVX. That was fresh in my mind, which then I think influenced my decision to sort of not get revenge, but I was keen to get a win using this setup. I was very keen to get a win using this setup, and as a result, I entered this prematurely. I got shaken out, so I think during the trade, I held this longer than what I should have, for the reason that I was trying not to have the same thing happen to me. What had happened with LKE. Um, so my original stop loss was the break of this trend line here, which it did on solid volume. Then it wicked up. It never actually reclaimed this. It never reclaimed this trend line. So moving it down was purely an emotional things. Purely a matter of, I think I added it $1 as well, and it was purely a matter of me going, maybe this time I'll get it. Maybe volume will miraculously come in. But as you can see, it got sold down on here. There was relative weakness over like this area here. There was relative weakness when essentially the market had a few really good days. Stocks were moving. Things like BRN was moving, which is a similar one. A similar sort of thesis, I guess, and Novonic was doing nothing. So unfortunately, not too sure. I was just not reflecting enough on my emotions, I think, going into this, which caused me to take the loss here. And I mean, like it'll probably continue lower, or it might base again at around 90 and then move higher, but it's not for me to determine. And frankly, I can exit again should it want to. I can enter again should it want to eventuate. So that'll about do. It's not so much a full scale, in-depth actual breakdown of the trade. I more just wanted to reflect on my emotions going through this, because it wasn't actually something that I've been able to go and do that much reflection on beforehand. So thanks.